what advice will you give parents who want to support their children's intellectual development? I will couch that question. Okay, let me put that up. I will couch this question with my own mistake. Talking about this same my daughter, my Harmony, her name is Harmony. When she told me at the age of 13 that she has finished a book, okay, I started pressurizing her, okay, rather than letting her go at her own pace, because she didn't tell me before she started the book. But like every ambitious father, I was like, okay, you have finished your book. When is the second one? Actually, before she told me she has almost finished the book, that she only has the last chapter. That's when she told me that she's the last chapter about the book, right? So rather than me letting her finish the chapter, we didn't even discuss how to end it at that point. She just said, I have only one chapter to write. Now, every morning when she wakes up, I'm asking her, when are you going to finish that? And she froze. She froze. She could not write. For about 6 months, my daughter did not finish that book, even though there was only one chapter remaining. Later, I realized I'm the one that is the problem, because I'm pressurizing. So I stopped talking about it. When I'm taking her to school, I don't even refer to it anymore. I don't talk about books. And I think finally she relaxed, and then she told me a few weeks after that she has not finished the book. But for that 6 months that I was asking her every day, I even tried to write, like, if you finish the book this weekend, I will give you whatever. She said, okay, Daddy. But Monday will come. Nothing is happening. And my wife now told me, that's why you need to slow down for this girl. You are not the one that told her to go and write a book. Let her finish the book in her own time. Okay? This one that you are asking her every day is why she can't write. So I realized that some of us parents, we try to help our children intellectually. But what we do is we actually end up hurting them more. So what advice will you give to parents like me and those out there? I'm even almost done with parenting, right? That many people are just starting. What advice will you give them for those who want to support their children's intellectual development? Go, sir.
Please listen to them. Collaborate with them. Collaborate. Don't direct them. When there's a top down, that's when there's rebellion. If you work with them in partnership, it's very difficult. I know why it's difficult. Because of your life experience, you think you have superior knowledge. That's true. In some instances, not every instance. There are some things I cannot do today. I have to call my son. If I'm buying a new computer, I cannot buy a new computer and use it. No. I take the old computer of my son and then buy him a new computer. If I'm buying a new cell phone, I cannot buy it. I must defer to him because he knows about all these gadgets. He knows the latest. This is me that is a technologist. If your daughter is very vast in one area, you got to subordinate yourself to her. This is hard. Because the first thing you say, oh, what would she know? She's a little girl. She's only a little girl. And the age gap always gives you that false confidence. That, oh, what can he know? Come on. I give birth to him. No. You give birth to him. You didn't give him the gift. You only gave birth to him. You didn't know the extent of the gift. Solomon was bigger than David, but David gave birth to Solomon. If you don't produce something bigger than you, you are failing. So you must step back at the age of 5. Begin to find out what is he so good at. And then you step back. Do you know what happens to him? His confidence will grow, or her confidence will grow. Her personal development in that area will grow. Next time she's at the bookstore, she will buy a book in that area that he or she likes, so that she can extend her knowledge. So this is the reason why up till now, I have to ask my son questions about technology. Up till now, I have to ask my daughter questions about fashion. Each of them have gifts. If you don't recognize that gift, if we don't recognize that gift, we will suppress the gift. And who loses? We. not just the child. We are the one that are going to lose. So respect them, tactfully encourage them in the areas where they are very fluent. You can see if something don't come to them easy. It might be cooking, it will come to them easy. It might be talking, it will come to them easy. It might be singing, but it comes to them easy. Those things that they effortlessly do, that is their domain of genius. Don't tell me, oh, I don't know what this boy is good at. You are lying. Because at 4, you knew what he was good at. It's just that you didn't like it. Or you say, oh, he got it from the mother. Oh, no, he got it from his father. Therefore,
And that's how parents are. You are correct.
And you start suppressing that genius. You say, oh, no, you are just talking like your father. I don't want you to talk like your father. No, but the guy is practicing his oratory. He's going to be a lawyer. That's what he's demonstrating to you. He's going to be an advocate. But you say he's a talkative. And then when he gets to school, they write his name in the list of noisemakers. And so he now becomes... Who is Oprah? Oprah Winfrey is a talkative. If you told Oprah not to talk, I mean, what will Oprah become? So there is a gift that is there, but you believe is a curse. Then number 2, please, I beg of you, if you're a parent, follow me or follow other parents' models that you like. Follow people that have looked after children and have distinguished themselves. Follow the person in your congregation whose children come to church and they sit down and they behave themselves. Follow them and ask, ma, how were you able to discipline your children in spite of the fact that they are in our city? Because there is something they told their children, there's something they are doing with their children that is evident in the fruit you are seeing. It didn't just happen by accident. It happened why? Because somebody calmed down, somebody looked at the talent, and somebody nurtured it. So every book that Richard Williams, the father of the Williams sister, has written, every book, I have read it. Every book that has been written about Beyonce's father, I have read it. Every book on Tiger Woods' father, I have read it. Every article, I've read it. If I cannot see them, I must read what they have done. Because there are things they have done that follows strict principles that give that result. Follow whoever has achieved. And when you read those that have failed, you can find out from them. Except, of course, the simple formula is for your parents to have had 12 children. If you are from a home that is a very large home with 12 different children, when you interact with 12 different children from the same family, you begin to see the traits that is in your child. If you are an only son or only daughter, then you are in a quagmire because your father or your mother decided not to express their genes fully. And again, that's a talk for another day. Why you must have 12 children. That's another day. And why you...
Maybe they don't have money for many children. But you are very correct, Prof. This thing you are saying, so that, again, for many of the young fathers and young mothers who are listening to this, I think this program is for you, seriously, because for many of us whose children are grown, we can't do much about what we have done. Thank God our children turn out well. But many of you, because I will say now that I'm an accidental good father, because this thing is saying I wasn't deliberate, but I was doing them. For instance, we have a tradition when my kids were young, at least the last 3. Okay, not Femi, that one was because I had it when I was very young. I was just doing anyhow that one. But my last 3, we have a tradition. We go to bookstore at least twice a week. But what I didn't know, it was not as if I had it in mind that it will help them. It's because me, I like books. I like to buy books. So I take them with me. And then I release them to go to anywhere of the store they like. And then they buy, they all have a choice to buy 2 books every time we go. I only give them limit that it cannot be more than $20. But you can buy 2 books that you want. So, but this thing you are saying now, it's not that I did it right accidentally, because they all pick different books. Michael, the one that is a chemical engineer now, we always pick stuff about technical stuff or futuristic stuff is what he will pick. Harmony we always speak, Harmony is the youngest. Harmony will always speak about thrillers, about horror type of books. And to the point I said, no, you can't be reading it. At one point, when he picked a reporter, we said, no, you can't read. And then we picked this. So after a while, I told his mom, Mom, let's just leave her. Let her pick whatever book she likes. At least she's a good kid. She's not misbehaving. If that's what she likes to read, let her read. She's coming to church now. She knows right from wrong. Let her read whatever she wants. My daughter, the one that's a medical doctor now, we always pick stuff to do with medicine. But I didn't know. I'm talking about when they are 6, 8, 10 type of thing. So now Tokwe turned out to be a doctor because that's what she loves to read about. Okay, that we are even mocking her about that you like blood too much. Then my son that is an engineer now, always tinkering with stuff and buying books on that. This my Harmony that is now a thriller writer. Now that I'm thinking about it, I never thought about it before. So that's what she's been interested in. Because when she published her first book, me and her mom, we were like, whoa, this one wants to become Stephen King. We almost didn't want to support the book because the book is Shattered Windows. It was a disturbing book. Because let me tell you about her book. In the very first chapter, she had this kid coming from school and then saw the father beating the mom and then carry something from the store and hit it on the father and kill the father. All right? But you now say that's not what happened. Basically, it's like teasing you to the future of the book. But I was disturbed that I hope it's not me because I know I don't beat the mom. We don't fight. We don't go violent. So I'm like, what's going on here? Then when she said at that beginning that, okay, that was not really what happened. Then she now talked about what happened. She really didn't kill the father. It turned out later in the book, it was the mother that killed the father. But they killed the father in the middle of the book. So I used to joke. So you people finish me in the middle of the book. It's okay. No problem. That you killed your daddy. This is not daddy. This is not about you. I know that you guys are not violent. It's not like I've ever seen you beat my mom. So why would I? But it was a joke in the family that I have this girl. This one that she's writing horror stuff. Because at the end of the day, that the lead character, also the mother forced the lead character, who's a baby, who's like a 16-year-old child, to basically try to kill her. Apparently, she was suicidal. The mother had a mental problem. In fact, she dedicated the money. Apparently, I didn't know she had a friend in school whose mother had mental issues. So I didn't know she was projecting, even though she denied it. So at the end of the day, she said she wants to donate the money from her book to organizations that help people with mental problems. So apparently the mother had a mental issue. Then I'm checking my wife again. I hope she's not right. My wife doesn't have mental issue. My wife is the calmest human being I can come across. So I'm like, it can't be about Nikki. Maybe it's me she's trying to talk about. I'm weird. But later we found out that she actually had an experience with a friend whose parent had mental issues. So she probably was very concerned because she really liked her friend, and maybe that's why she wrote the book. But I don't know. But she is tilting towards thrillers and scary thrillers. And I'm glad now that we didn't discourage her because maybe that's what she wants to write about. Because that's what she has been reading. When you go to a store, that's what she will carry. And we'll say, you this girl, why are you reading this? But that's so why I'm asking this is important for people who are just parenting, not to be accidental. I accidentally encourage my children. In fact, they bought pianos. Now that you are saying this, when they are in school, we had pianos for them because they showed interest in keyboard. So the senior one, Tokwe, will play it, and then the junior one, Michael, was always very excited anytime Tokwe is playing. Tokwe is the older one, and she is the younger one. Both of them turned out very, very well. I'm not going to go so far as to say they are geniuses, but they are close because they are great. They are all A students, and they both graduated a year or two before their age. But the point is, it was all accidental. I could claim the credit, but the truth is, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just happened to have gotten lucky, is the way I put it now, because I love to read. So what advice will you give them to be more deliberate so that we are not accidental parents? I could have made them to be drinkers. If I'm a drinker and I'm taking them to my bar, maybe that's what they'll be doing. So please, sir, give us a few ideas for parents who are young, who are still have kids that they're supporting, how to support their children's intellectual development in a deliberate way.
One thing that I didn't say in the music thing is that during the Sunday services or the orchestra display weekly, you must therefore start enlisting them once they hit the age of 7. So they go into performance. So they have the talent. They practice every single day once they start school for 5 minutes, first thing they do in the morning, and maybe 7 minutes last thing they do before they go to bed. And once a week or once a fortnight, they perform. If it's the church, they perform in the church. If it's a temple, they perform in the church. If they have regular performance, it will then take it from just musician to performers. Stage fright, you are taking it out. Self-confidence, you're putting that in. Self-esteem, you're putting that in. So even if the school report tries to undermine them, but because they know they get applause every time they perform with the orchestra, maybe you have a county orchestra, or anytime they perform in the church, maybe you have a junior choir, that thing is the fright of every human being. They say stage fright. Most people are more afraid of public speaking than death. So you have just killed that off by exposing them to come up on stage and perform to adults. That confidence will make them know that in mathematics you can make mistakes, but you correct it. That confidence will make them learn new language because you can make mistakes and you correct it. Why? Because when you are playing music, so you sometimes make mistake with the keys, but you correct it. When you're having a performance and there's one segment that goes wrong, you move on to the next segment and you correct it. Those are hidden skills that you are drilling into them without even knowing. Like your daughter that wrote the book now, you don't know what you've done in terms of publishing, because any essays she's going to write now at any level is going to be 10 times better than any of her colleagues. I can give you that 100%. All she's going to do is start back to, by the way, she's right brain. I just wrote that down. She's right brain. So please make sure that you develop that. Make sure that everything she's doing, you nurture it. It's like if somebody's right hand, you give the person the pen on the right hand. If person is left hand, if left-handed, you give the person a pen on the left hand. If somebody is a striker and is a left-legged person, you give the ball to him on the left leg. So if you understand the way her neurology works, you understand her psychology. It's like the saying in the game. So every parent, please understand this, because your child, or so-called child, it's not really a child, is our child, is a child of generation. The person to give him opportunity to mentor and guide has preferences, premonitions, and predispositions. Establish it and support it. And if you have siblings, you may see some of the traits that were in your brother, junior sister, or senior brother, senior sister, re-manifesting itself in specific individuals that you now call your son or your daughter. And some of you, because you hate your big brother, you say, no, I don't want him to be like my big brother. It's too late. The genetic composition of your son will reflect your siblings. Thank you, or your daughter will replace your sibling. I hope that answers your question. But like I said, you can shoot questions to me after today. This is what I live for. This is what I would die for. Supporting the nation.
Thank you so much. You see that? So I'm glad to position the interview this way, because AI can come later. This one I can see is really blessing the young people out there, and I wish I had even been exposed to you when I was younger. My kids were younger. They would even have been deadlier. They are great now, and I'm very proud of them. But a lot of the stuff I did was accidental rather than deliberate. So those who are listening to you, they can be very, very deliberate. So what he said, one of the few things that I like to repeat him, because I wanted to sink in case you are listening on Clubhouse or Gist House and you're not hearing him well because of his the side he's discussing from. He has said something very important also that I want to repeat, that encourage friends to be in performance either in sport or in school. Again, Prof, for my accidental life. My daughter, the one that is the number one genius right now, that we call the one that's, she was in about 7 performances when she was in high school, junior and high, and mother will complain, but we take her. She's the one that will, she ended up being the head of the school band in an all-white school. She became the very first black Miss Nebraska, okay, at the age of 16, okay, because we encouraged her. The day she came to me and said that I want to contest for Miss Nebraska, she was 15. I'm like, are you okay? When I went to search the team, no black has ever won. So, and I told her that, and she said, "Oh, the more reason why I should run that. You told me that I can aspire for anything." I used to joke that with them when they are young, that you can be anybody you want. That me, I may be limited because because I didn't have parents to guide me well or have the money. But anything you want, daddy will pay. So anything you want to become. So she reminded me. She said, "You used to tell me that." So that now that I say I want to run for Miss Nebraska, you're telling me black people don't win. So I surrender. And she went. Okay. So the first time she didn't win. It was the first year she tried at 15. She didn't win. They have Miss Nebraska teenager for 16. But she went at a year younger because she said, "I will go." So she came in third. But because I'm who I am, yeah, she came third, but I didn't care. I'm like, whatever. If you're going to win, the least you should do, if you're going to play, you must win. So when we were going home, I was thinking she was going to say, "I'm not doing again." And so I'm like, "What? Do you know what is going to have to happen now?" He said, "Dad, I know. I'm going to have to go again." I said, "Yeah, you're still under 16. It's for teenagers. So until you're out of 17 or even 18, you can still go." So she said, "Okay, I'll go." So she went the next year and won. But she was in so many, she was in track and field, she was in a drama in school, but it was inconvenient. I almost told the mother that she can't do more than one. But the mother said, "Leave her." So maybe it's the mom that actually is the hero here. Because she will say, "Are you the one taking them? Let her do whatever she wants to do." Then the mother will take her. Then our kid brothers, now you are talking about a peer learning from peer. Now I'm seeing it. But then, to be honest with you, I didn't. It was an inconvenience. So I'm hoping all the younger ones listening now, you will learn from me and what Prof is saying. Because she was very involved in performances. All our siblings under her, Michael, also was involved in several performances. So then Michael ended up being more, even in terms of book work, even better than her because he was straight A's from kindergarten all the way to college, the one that became a chemical engineer. Now, our baby, the youngest one in the house, of course, she's even worse. She's the one that wrote a book. Now she's the one that she's the, what do they call, forensic leader now. Apparently that's when they talk. They talk on stage. So she also is doing about, I don't know, she's in school right now in one performance or the other. So we allowed it, even though it was inconvenient, but not because we thought it was going to help them. To be honest with you, it's just that I just have had this attitude to let the children be who they want. Okay, I'm a lawyer. I never encourage any one of them to be a lawyer because I didn't like the way I was made to be a lawyer. My dad filled my JAMB form and said because you and then he filled law there because law is the most prestigious for those who study arts. I'm not very good at math, and he didn't care. He said, "You're going to be a lawyer." He told himself when he was young, according to him, "I'm going to have a lawyer, I'm going to have an architect, I'm going to have a doctor, and I'm going to have an accountant." There were 6 of us. The man already assigned role to everybody before we were 5 years old. So thank God, my junior brother is the Shagun, the one that is a director at ExxonMobil now. He's the only one that had first class in his accounting in Unilag. So that one became an accountant. I became a lawyer. My brother became an architect, but we never got the doctor. So, and my dad was still very upset until he died. So now that I got a doctor, unfortunately he's dead. He probably would have been happy. But my point is, we were just lucky. We were accidental. So guys out there, it is not a chore. If you really love your kids, that's what Prof is saying. Let them be involved in performance. It helps self-confidence. You are very correct, Prof. This thing you are saying. My last daughter, the one I'm talking about, the Harmony, that is the baby of the family, right? Typically, she's big for her age. Where what you can even say, quote and they don't like to use the word in America, but what it is, she's fat for her age, very big and all that. If she had not been doing that performance, maybe she would have had self-confidence issues. But now, with her big height self, she doesn't care. She's the one everybody is following. Okay, because she was doing performance at an early age. So she was able to get over the self-consciousness, the self-whatever. So I think you are very correct, because I'm trying to project it to my children and to see what happened with them. And this thing you're saying is very correct. I just didn't know that it was, or that I would have done more. I would have been more involved. I would have encouraged them even more.
You were spirit-led.
I think so. I was spirit-led, because those things are inconvenient. And I'm telling the parents of young ones now, they are very inconvenient. They're expensive. Sometimes they want to go out of town to go and perform. You have to pay. They don't pay in America. You have to pay for the ticket. You have to either go with them or get your wife to go with them. But for the sake of the children, in retrospect now, I didn't know that's what helped them. Because I used to ask myself, what did I do to deserve such a genius kids? Okay. But I realize now is really something I did accidentally. Because all this thing you are saying, I did. I just didn't do it deliberately, forcefully, and more aggressively. So those of you listening, you still have opportunity to do that. Okay, it's not too late. Thank you so much.